we did it. We did it. I don't know how we did it, but we did it.
And so right to remind us why we do this work. Patients are waiting. Today, I am joined by a wonderful woman, the truly extraordinary Kathy Giusti. Kathy isn't just living with cancer, she is changing the way we fight it. Our conversation is a reminder that when we put patients right at the center of absolutely everything we do, innovation and real impact can follow. Kathy, thank you so much for being here with us. Like so many people around the world, I have been truly inspired by your story. Your own experience with multiple myeloma, from a difficult diagnosis to co-founding the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation, and just the phenomenal difference that you've been able to make to so many people with cancer.
And it's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me. Yes, I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma at the age of 37. My husband and I just bought a new home. Our daughter, Nicole, was just 18 months old. And I felt like, oh my gosh, in an instant, my life had changed. But I kept thinking to myself, if I could live long enough to see Nicole to kindergarten, that would be a win for me. So my identical twin sister, Karen, and I decided to start the foundation. There were no drugs in the pipeline whatsoever. And for me, coming from pharma, that was crushing. We raised the money. We started attracting scientists to the field. Once we did that, they started explaining to us, we don't understand the biology of this disease. So we had to start building collaborative models. We built a clinical network in phase 1 and 2 trials. We've done over 100 trials in the field. And so it's kind of interesting to look back now and think, I thought I would only live long enough to build the first strategy of getting scientists to the field, but instead we've made so much progress.
One of the things that has really struck me in your work, Kathy, is what an extraordinary champion of the patient journey you are, the patient voice. What more do you think we can do to really make sure those patient voices are heard?
I think the most important thing is to know where patients have opportunities and to make sure that we're having the conversations with them. But I always like to remind the patients that they can play a role in the cure. So we love having patients, as do you, chime in on what kind of clinical trials are they looking for. Is it about quality of life? Is it about efficacy? What's important to them? And then raising their hand to be in the clinical trial. I do think the patient community is getting stronger and stronger, and I truly believe the next generation is going to be incredibly strong when it comes to their own health. So I think just blending that together and bringing the advocacy groups and just patients that have a very strong voice is important.
I love the idea that, patients can assume their agency and exploring that with a lot of energy. And, while incredible progress has been made, including through your foundation, we know that there are still 180,000 people diagnosed with multiple myeloma every year. What do you think are still the most urgent challenges that we're facing in tackling this difficult disease?
Not every patient is the same. So I feel like helping them have conversations with their doctors about what's right for them is incredibly important. I think the other part is we have to understand that 70% of cancer care is at the community. And yet so many of our immunotherapies are being delivered at the academic centers. We have to make sure that we reduce the toxicities and patients can get drugs at the community. I mean, the easier the drug is to take, the more patients are going to have access to it.
It's such an important point, that 70% being treated in the community, and we need to make it easier, not just on patients, but on the families that love them and are supporting them through this journey. We all know that getting ahead of cancer is something, most of all, that we can only do if we work together. What more can we do better together? And what is your ask of industry innovators like GSK?
I would say, first of all, that multiple myeloma is the case study in collaboration, bringing together the pharmaceutical companies, biotech companies, FDA, academia, the community. The more we can have companies work together, the better off patients are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it is actually a great thing that from an industry innovator point of view, the market is incredibly competitive. Yeah. That's good for patients. Before we finish up, what is your message, Kathy, to everybody who's working at GSK and with our partners and collaborators on how we get ahead of cancer together?
Well, I think coming from industry, the people that work in healthcare pick it for a reason. they truly want to make a difference and they truly want to help patients. So my comments are, number one, thank you very much because you've done a phenomenal job. And the other part I always remind anybody working in healthcare is to just listen carefully to the patient stories. I talked about our daughter, Nicole, being 18 months old when I was diagnosed. And as soon as that happened, I started writing in a journal just because I wanted her to remember me. And now when I went back to read those journals, I looked at the first few pages and I read, I'll never be able to give you a brother or sister. I'll never know where you went to school. I'll never know who you married. And then I look at this year that just went by and I thought, I know she went to business school. I know she got married to a great guy, and her brother that I never expected to have gave the toast at the wedding. We did it. We did it. I don't know how we did it, but we did it. And I always think to myself, it was a complete team effort. It was the entire ecosystem. One person doesn't make a difference. It's a lot of phenomenal leaders like you that we all come together and we make it happen.
You know, Kathy, your leadership is extraordinary. What a wonderful story to celebrate. By the way, I am a great believer in journal writing. I've been doing it since I've been 18, but no story can compare with that. You are truly an inspiration and so right to remind us why we do this work, who we do it for. Patients are waiting, and you have all of our commitment at GSK to work harder every day to get ahead of cancer together.
Thank you.